Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. Half centuries by Mohammed Rizwan and Haider Ali led Pakistan to a 6-3-run win over the West Indies in the first T20 in Karachi earlier on Monday. Batting first, Pakistan piled up 200 for 6 from their 20 overs against left-arm spinner Akil Hossain, 1 for 19 from his 4 overs. In reply, the Windies were easily knocked over for 137 of 19 overs. Fazeer Mohammed had his best ever figures in T20 internationals, 4 for 40 from 4 overs. Fazeer Mohammed now joins us to review what happened in this match. Well, Fazeer, the Pakistanis, as world number 3, certainly went into this series as favourites against the world number 9 ranked West Indies, who were further hit by injury issues and COVID-19 issues and unavailable issues. So a short-staffed West Indies team here. So I guess we can't be too surprised about what happened today.
No, we can't. I suppose the disappointing thing would be the fact that some of the players were so easily put off their game by the assault of the Pakistanis when batting, and then when the West Indies batted, the challenge that they faced with the quality of the Pakistan seam attack and the spin as well. But when we keep hearing these phrases, Lance, about it's a rebuilding phase and you have to get time and so on. The fact of the matter is there's really no room. These players, unfortunately, have to learn very, very quickly. Some of them are almost brand new to this level of competition at a consistent level because they've been in and out many times. And this is the senior players now really need to step up because this could be one-way traffic for the remaining matches.
Yeah, the Pakistani captain Babar Azam, who is currently the number 1 ranked T20 batsman in the world, made 0 today. Rizwan, who is one of the highly rated T20 men, he got some runs today. Haider Ali, probably representing part of the future of T20 cricket for Pakistan. How impressive was he today?
Very, very impressive. And Pakistan are very much like the West Indies. They really unearthed a lot of talent, not just in the batting department, but as we see so often in the bowling department as well. The difference is whether or not these players kick on, as with the West Indies. Do our players, when given that opportunity, do they not just shine and then fizzle out, or are they able to kick on? And I think it's important when you see players of that quality emerging in other nations and not just simply crying down and saying, well, we don't have the talent to cover this bear. That's not true. But clearly there's an issue that we have in our game, whether it's domestic, whether it's regional, whether it's structural, whether it's whatever it is, that our players, for whatever reason, don't seem necessarily motivated enough to aspire to a consistent level of excellence. And you hope that, if nothing else, that they're able to learn a few things as to what it means to be competing at the highest level over the next week.
Yeah, Faz, and just to continue from the point that you're making, many a times too, once a team is selected, the first thing that players do, they feel hard done when they're omitted and whatnot. And I say that to bring up my question about Brandon King. He got the opportunity. He only made 1. He was scored by Babar Azam. What do you make of the fact that he's gotten the opportunity and, failed to capitalize on it?
These things happen, Mariah. I'm not saying that as an excuse for him. But he has to understand that there are only limited opportunities. We've got a World T20 that we have to prepare for, a qualifying tournament that we have to prepare for, and that again says a lot about the state of our game in the region, that we now have to qualify for a tournament in which we were the defending champions 2 months ago. So really it is up to a Brandon King, up to a Romario Shepherd, Dominic Drakes, everyone getting an opportunity. And whether or not they got a real hammering today, whether or not they barely got a run, they have to learn quickly. This is the demanding environment of elite level sport. There's no place to hide. There's very little room for you to come back and work on your game and come again. That's just the way it is, and you have to learn very quickly.
Yeah, and with Karen Pollard being out of the setup, how do you rate Nicholas Pooran's leadership?
Again, Nicholas Pooran is also learning. Remember, he captained the West Indies to a 4-1 victory over Australia. It was a depleted Australia, and Australia eventually won the World T20. He captained the West Indies when the West Indies won their only match at the World T20 by 3 runs. But he's still a young person. There's still a level of impetuousness about him, which is not bad. But he needs to curb that. You need to recognize where things need to be done, but also you need to have the quality in your squad that allows you to be able to compete consistently. And what we are seeing now is a team that is a drastic change from the one that went to the World T20, and all of the arguments about the composition of that squad have never really been settled. And now you have a situation where they are being called upon to rebuild ahead of the defense and the qualification, not the defense, sorry, but having to qualify for the tournament in just about 11 months' time. So it is a very difficult situation, but this, again, you can't make excuses. If you want to make excuses, don't play, because this is what it is all about.
You know, I'm asking you something based on that very point, because as you're thinking to myself and wondering, when I contrast what happens with other teams, if it matters any at all who captains the West Indies, because it's not as if, depending on the captain, you conjure something different from your players relative to a next player not being able to achieve the same kind of motivation and performance from your players.
George, I think more than any other cricketing region, leadership matters in the West Indies because all the talents in the world. I remember people always making that comment about the great West Indies team of the 1980s. Anybody could captain that team, people would say. But you talk to those players and they'll tell you, you need someone to keep you grounded, to inspire you, to motivate you, to encourage you, to bring out the best in you, to tell you that, okay, you did well in a T10 tournament the other day, or you're the big superstar coming out in the CPL. But just keep it in perspective. This is all about playing for the West Indies.
But Fazeer, sorry to interrupt you, but that, you went to a period when we had performance leaders in the role as captain, men who led with the bat and pitched in with the ball, who could do something to change the game, whether it's the innings that was required, or the catch that was required, or the run out, or the wicket. And you are contrasting that as well, I think, with a man like Darren Sammy, who for 2 T20 World Cups was, in my book, a motivational captain, not by performance, because he didn't take wickets, he didn't score runs. And I'm looking in this setup, there is no performance leader in this side who can upbraid someone for not scoring runs, or who can tick someone off for not taking wickets. So it's in that context I'm asking the question, does it even matter who leads us? Because who's that authority figure who's going to read the riot act to someone who needs the riot act read to them?
Well, we can't be rudderless. That's the thing, George. Whether it's Nicholas Pooran or whether he's shown up to be incapable of taking on the challenge, we need someone who is a leader. And as you said correctly with Darren Sammy, he was able to galvanize the team by sheer weight of his personality and his G'ing up, and indeed even the comments he made when he lifted the trophy in 2016, because the players recognized that he was for them. So even in this situation, if Nicholas Pooran is unable to not just his own game, but to lift the players around him, then we probably need to look somewhere else. The issue with leadership in the West Indies, George and Mariah and Lance, is a serious one, because we have different territories, we have different perspectives. What is important for one is irrelevant to the other, and you can create frictions within the team setup, male, female, young or old. And that's where the leadership issue, more than just the performance, is so very vital.
As usual, great talking to you, Faz. We'll talk a lot more because this is the first of three T20 internationals, Pakistan taking a 1-0 lead. We'll talk again soon. Yeah, Fazeer Mohammed there. Break time. Mariah with the second zone updates next.